back to a brand new speed build. Today I have a modern brick home for you guys, and I'm so excited to share this because I absolutely love this house. Even though it's modern, I absolutely love how it turns out, and I really hope you guys like it as well. So I built this a couple of months ago, and I was just really in the mood to build something a little bit more modern. Now, this isn't ultra modern at all. It's not like, if you're looking at like a modern house, isn't maybe not what you were thinking, like this is not what you were thinking, but it does have some like modern elements, and I am super happy with how it turns out. And I also really badly want to build in the world of Nordhaven, which we got with the business and hobbies expansion pack, because I haven't really built here since that pack sorry, since that pack came out. So I was like, oh, I really want to build here, but I don't really know what. And then I realized that this place in this world is perfect for this type of house. So I didn't really have like an inspo picture for this. I literally have just been I've been seeing so many so many pictures on Pinterest of like brick homes that have been like modernized. I can't speak today. I am so sorry. But they have been like modernized, and they have this like black element to them. So it's basically just this reddish brick with the black accents, and I love it. And so I didn't go off of like a single picture, but I think I've seen so many of them, and then I also just looked up on Pinterest. I think I typed in like modern brick house, like literally what this house ends up being called, and I saw similar things to this, and yeah, I'm just super happy with it, and I really hope you guys like it as well. So like I said, this is built in the world of Nordhaven, and it's built in the more like modern area, kind of. If you watched my videos that I built when this pack came out, the builds that I did videos on, there we go. When this pack came out, you would have seen that I did 3 different builds. I did one that was like a coffee and pottery studio in a townhouse, and then I did a like tattoo parlor and townhouse, and then I did a candy shop and a florist in an apartment. So I've already done those, and this is in the part of the world where the tattoo shop ends up being. So it's in the kind of like top left part of this world, and it's a little bit more modern. And if you look around, like you can even see it in the back of this build, like what I'm building, you can see that there are these like kind of industrialized builds, and they have this like brick and then like these black windows, and so I felt like this just fitted perfectly. Now, the world of Nordhaven is obviously built off of Scandinavia, and like specifically Stockholm, and I think Copenhagen as well. At least from what I've seen, especially Stockholm, especially like the more like older towns, like where I built the other 2 builds, like that's definitely Stockholm. And I'm saying this as someone who is a Swede and who has been to Stockholm numerous times, and who grew up in that area. I don't live there anymore, but I grew up in that area, so I'm very familiar with it. And so I will say that like this like kind of like industrial part I haven't seen a lot. However, I guess this is also the part where you would build like the Scandinavian homes, like more like modern ones. So it does fit. It's just not something that I have seen when I'm like walking through Stockholm, but I also think it depends on like where you are. So maybe this build wouldn't fit in like Stockholm or Copenhagen and stuff like that, but this is The Sims, and we get to do basically whatever we want. So yeah, but yeah, I'm really happy, and I do really like that it ends up being in this part of this world, because I think it fits in really well. But getting back and talking more about the build itself, so you will see that I did something that I haven't really done before. I did like a quote unquote like split level like exterior. The interior ends up being a little bit split level, but like not that much. But you will see that on the kind of like right hand side of the build, there will end up being like a little driveway, but then the rest of like the exterior of the build is kind of like you have to go up some stairs to get to it, if that makes sense. The way I did this was really easy. I just used a platform, and then to cover up the edges of the platform and to make it look a little bit more like, I don't know, like it blends in, I used some live edit fences. The ones I used are this kind of like white brick situation. You will see me play around with it. Again, they're from the live edit menu. You can use basically whichever one you want, and I'm not the first person to do this, by the way. So many other people have done it, so I'm not the one that thought of doing like this kind of split level experience. Like, no way. I'm like the last person to do it, to be honest. But yeah, and I'm really happy with it, because again, it made the extra have a little bit more of like I don't know, texture to it, because the house itself is basically just a rectangle. It doesn't really have that many bump outs. It has a couple, but like it's just a rectangle. So I thought it just made it look a little bit, I don't know, a little bit more interesting, and I really like it. And you will see that on the left side of the build, I will extend the roof that is, you see where like the chimney is, the roof that is there, I will extend that out, and then I will put 2 arches from the Get Together expansion pack, and I'll kind of make that into a little like walkway, and I really like it. I really like how it ends up being. And you will see that currently I'm going in and changing the windows, because originally I had some windows from the Business and Hobbies expansion pack, but I just didn't, there was something off about them. I think the rim of them were like too thick, so I decided to go with I decided to go with these windows on like the main part of the build that has like the rounded top. They are from the what's it called? The Get to Work expansion pack. I almost never use these windows. I love them. I just never find a place to use them. Plus, they don't have like matching ones. Like these are just like the ones that we have. They don't really have matching ones, but it's fine in the end. It's fine. It works out. And then on the like where the driveway kind of ends up being, you will see the window that is just like a square with like smaller squares, if that makes sense. It looks very like industrial. It's like a very big window. It's right by the car. That one is from the Moschino Stuff pack. I also used that on the back of the build on the little, it kind of looks like a sunroom. It ends up being the living room, but there's a room like with just those windows all around, and then ends up having a glass room, a glass roof. Those are again the same windows. They're from the Moschino Stuff pack, and I love that stuff pack so much. The back door also ends up being from the Moschino Stuff pack. The front door is base game, I believe. We got it with the base game update that we got like earlier this year in like February or something like that. At least I believe that's when we got it. I think so. But yeah, and then the window that I placed above, like again with the driveway, above on like the second floor, I placed another window. It matches it perfectly, but it has like a rounded top, and that one is base game as well. So yeah, I used a couple of different windows, and then you will see that I used like a really small window onto the bump out, like that is like under the chimney, if that makes sense, on the left side. That small window, I don't actually think I end up keeping, if I'm remembering correctly, because the trees were blocking it anyways. But if you're wondering where that small window is from, that is from the Snow Escape expansion pack. And yeah, I used all the windows and everything like that in the black swatch, again, to kind of contrast with the brick. The brick wallpaper that I use is from the Business and Hobby expansion pack. I did talk about this in my last video where I built a police station, because originally I was going to use this brick in that one as well, but I decided to use something else. But this is one of my favorite bricks in the game. It's my second favorite. The favorite brick that we have is from Rebel Magic, but then I think this one is my second favorite. I love it. It looks so good. Also, I used some window shutters on the Get to Work windows. Again, just for a little bit of contrast on the build. I thought it looked a little bit empty, so I decided to use those window shutters. Those are from the Horse Ranch expansion pack, and I don't know if this is just me. I love them. I love them so much, but I want some different window shutters. I don't know how different you can make them look, but I feel like you should be able to make them look a little bit different, because now we only have these ones, and I don't know, they're not really that modern. They're supposed to be in like a rustic build in, you know, like a horse ranch build, but yeah, I don't know. I really want some other ones, but I'm happy that we have them. Okay, I'm just happy that we have them. But yeah, so this build has kind of minimal landscaping. You have already seen me do it at this point. I'm a little bit behind of talking about what I'm doing, but it has some like minimal landscaping. I use some trees. They're all base game, and then the landscaping is, I think the majority is landscaping. I think one bush that is from like the Cats and Dogs expansion pack, and then one that is from the Lovestruck expansion pack, but otherwise it's all base game. And also you see like at the front where the bikes end up being, there's these like shrubs. Those are from the live edit menu of the Get Together expansion pack, just because I really like those. They look really good. And then I go in and kind of like furnish and decorate I was gonna say the porch area. It's not a porch, but like, you know, the split level area, like the entry, where the entryway is, and like how it leads to the back and stuff like that. And out there I put a couch, and that one is from the High School Years expansion pack, I believe. I just really like the way it looked. It looked really cozy, but also at the same time kind of modern, and I like the idea of just someone sitting out there in the morning and just, you know, sipping on their coffee or something. And I just decorated up with like some potted plants, and I put some what's it called, like some sports equipment, because this family ends up being, or this house ends up being for two parents and then two kids. And I was imagining that the kid, or no, one kid and then a teen, but I was imagining that the kid is really into sports and stuff like that, especially like football. For those Americans, that's soccer, but I mean like football because, you know, it's called football, because otherwise it's American football. You don't even use your foot. Why is it called that? I'm sorry, I've had this discussion so many times, but I genuinely still don't know. I don't know. But then also in the front yard, there ends up being a basketball hoop, again, because I was thinking that the kid is really into sports, and also a little, like, what's it called? I genuinely don't know the English name for this. You know where you jump? Like, there's, like, a jump, what's it called? You will see. I put it by the basketball hoop. What is it called? A jump. It's gonna bother me because I literally talked about this yesterday with my friends, and then I knew the name, but I didn't know it in Swedish, and now I don't know it in English, but I know it in Swedish. I want to say I don't remember. Anyways, it's the thing where you jump. Okay, you like jump one and then two and then one and then two and two and one, and you know that one thing. I used to be so good at that as a kid. Me and my friends, we used to have like chalk markers, and we used to make those like all around the driveway, like all like the entire road, not just like the driveway, but like the entire road where we lived, and it would end up being so long that by the end we were almost dying because it was so long, but it was really fun. Is it a hopscotch? Is that what it's called? Maybe that's what it's called. Anyways, yeah, and then for the rest of the kind of like exterior, you will see me do again the kind of like walkway area that I mentioned before. We kind of like extended out the roof, and I put these arches that are from the Get Together expansion pack, and out there I just put also a like little seating area. I put the woodworking bench, I think, and at the back there will end up being a little barbecue area. The barbecue that I used is from the Desert Lux kit, really random, but it looked like the right type of modern for this build, so I decided to use that. And the like table that I used that has like an umbrella attached to it, that is from the Perfect Patio Stuff pack, which I feel like I use that in almost every single build, like not that item, but like the Perfect Patio Stuff pack I use in almost every single build, and I'm always like, what do I use from it? But it has like such cute little items, and I think it's like the third stuff pack that we ever got or something like that, and it's really good for being like that early on. To be honest, because like the stuff packs that we get now are obviously better than the ones that we got in the beginning, because you know the game has evolved and everything. But yeah, I do really like that pack, and I used it again for that little table, and I paired it with some chairs from City Living that I also just think matched really, really well. And in the backyard there ends up being a little bit like of a walk down area, and so like to the grass, and down there I put a little swing set and also some like beehives and I think some just planters. The backyard ends up being kind of small because this lot is kind of small. It's on a 20 by 20. So yeah, it's a small lot, but I was able to do a lot with it, and I'm so happy with this build, and I'm so excited to share it with you guys. I've been wanting to share this build since I built it, but then obviously we got the Fair expansion pack, and then I've been doing builds for you guys, and it's been a lot. And then the past 2 weeks I haven't posted. If I'm gonna be honest, I wasn't gonna post today either. I'm literally recording this today, the video the day that this comes out. I normally don't do that. I recorded the day before, but I wasn't going to post anything today, but then I was like, you know what, it's been too long, I need to. But yeah, I've been really busy with like college and stuff like that, and I haven't really had the motivation for sim stuff. But today I woke up and I was like, you know what, it's a Sims day. So I'm excited about that. But also, to be fair, I'm also in the mood where I'm like, I don't want to build anything until the new expansion pack comes out, which by the way, we got an expansion pack like a month and a half ago, and now we're getting a new one. It's a little bit excessive, if you ask me. But yeah, so I'm just kind of in the mood of like, I don't want to build anything until that pack comes out, because I know I'm going to be using stuff from that pack. But anyways, continuing on with the build, we're now on to the interior. And for the interior, again, I kind of wanted to keep it modern, but not like ultra modern again. It's still like cozy, it's still my vibe, but it's a little bit more modern. And I used a just plain white wallpaper that I believe is from base game, and I do also put the brick wallpaper as like some accents at times, so you will see that as well. But right as you enter the house, there is a little like storage area where you can put like your shoes, and there's a mirror and stuff like that. And that little like storage unit is it's like two of them next to each other, and those are from the high school years expansion pack. I almost never use them. I used them in a build a couple of months ago, and I was like, oh, I need to use these more often, and then I used them in this, and I haven't used them since then. But I really need to use them more because they fit shoes perfectly. I will say I built this before obviously we got the newest kit. What's it called? The Grange mudroom kit, is that what it's called? I think so. But if I had had that when I was building this, I would have put those glitter items from that kit because I love that kit so much. You guys haven't seen a build with it yet from me, but I promise I love it. And the entry area also doubles up to be the dining room area, and for the dining table I used one from the Dream Home Decorator stuff pack, game pack, and then the chairs that I use is from the Business and Hobbies expansion pack. Also, I want to say sorry if you hear any weird background noises. I am back in my dorms so it might sound a little bit different because like I don't know, my room's a little bit bigger here, so no, it's not bigger, but like it's higher, and the ceiling is higher, so it's a little bit more echoey. And then also I live in a corridor, so that means like there are like people walking all over, so if you hear any doors, that's why. But yeah, anyways, for the dining room, I will say, however, you will see that I put a taller chair in here because originally I was thinking of having a taller in here, like in this house, in this family, but then I was like, nah, I don't really feel like it. And I didn't remove that until after I had done the screenshots. So in the screenshots, you will still see the taller chair, but if you decide to download this, there will not be that chair at all. Like, that chair will be gone. It would be replaced by a normal one. Don't worry. And then also in the dining room area, I used a bookshelf from the fitness stuff pack. I almost never use that bookshelf. I love it. I just never feel like it fits in my builds, but for this one I felt like it fitted and it was perfect space for it, so I'm really happy with that. And then in the dining room area I also put the little like activity board from the Parenthood stuff pack, which I really like. I tried to put that in almost all my builds just because I like the gameplay feature of it. And I also put a art easel in here from the artist kit, the artist something kit. I don't remember, it was called something like that. It's the artist kit, okay? Get which one I mean. And yeah, just cluttered up with a bunch of different things. This room kind of leads to all the other rooms in the downstairs and has the stairs to the upstairs level, so it's kind of like an everything room, but it works out in the end. And then I move over to the kitchen, and in the kitchen, the flooring that I have is this tile that is from the sleek bathroom kit. Is that what it's called? I think so. And you will see in the bathrooms earlier or later, there ends up being 2 bathrooms in this build. You will see me decorate one as always. They're next to each other on the upstairs level. There's no bathroom on the first level, but I think it's fine. And in both of the bathrooms, I use this same tile for both the walls and the flooring, and I really like it, and I use that kit a lot in the bathrooms as well. But for the counters in the kitchen, I use the Home Chef Hustle ones in this black swatch. I love them. They look so good. But I also like this like orange tone that they have to them, with like the drawers and stuff. I think they look really good. However, I didn't really like the cabinets for those, like the matching cabinets to those counters from the Home Chef Hustle kit, or stuff pack. I don't know why. I think it's because the corner shelf from the Home Chef Hustle one is shelves, if I remember correctly, and it just didn't work out with this build. So instead I used some cabinets that are from the Dream Home Decorator stuff pack. They work, or game pack, sorry. They work really well together, and so I think it's fine. But yeah, I just cluttered the kitchen counters up as always with a bunch of different things. And in the middle, you will see there ends up being this like just big space in the middle. So there I put the little like cart side table item that we got from the kitchen clutter kit, and I used a lot of the kitchen clutter kit in this build, obviously. I think I built this right as we had gotten that kit as well, so I was super excited to use it, and I just really love that kit. It's one of my favorites. But yeah, I just used that in the middle as well to kind of like make space. Like, I don't know, it makes it look like, I don't know, you can cook food there. I think in the end I end up putting a shopping bag on there and then also like a lunchbox. So I don't know, maybe someone has just gone home from shopping and they put the shopping bag there until they, put everything away. And maybe the kids' lunchbox is there for, the morning. And yeah, I don't know, I really like it. The fridge I end up using in here is from the Cool Kitchen Stuff pack. And then the stove, weirdly enough, is from the Snow Escape expansion pack. I don't know why I decided to use that one, but it just worked out really well. And then the rest of the appliances are from, I don't know, different kits and packs. Like I used the kettle that we got from the... When did we get the kettle? I don't remember. I genuinely don't remember. But we got the kettle at some point, and from that pack, the kettle's from that pack. And yeah, I just cleared the rest of the kitchen up with a few different things. I did bring the black, as you can see, into the interior as well. I just really, really liked it. I think it looks really good. I tried to not have the black being too overpowering though, because I feel like if you do a black interior, it kind of just becomes all black. So I tried to bring some colors into it at times, and I think it works out well. Like in the living room, I use some green couches that are from the Cozy Kitsch kit, I believe. So I used those in there, and I think again they end up looking really good, and it just fits. Again, it like they're still like dark and it fits the vibe, but they're not black, so it's not like too overpowering. And then also in the living room, I end up using a fireplace next to a like TV stand. Both the TV stand and the fireplace are from the Business and Hobbies. That's really difficult for me to say, apparently. The Business and Hobbies expansion pack. They're both from there. I will say, however, if you download this build and want to play with it, the fireplace is not functional. I tried everything. It just would not work. So I'm thinking it's more like a decorated one. It's fine. I think it might be because it's like up against a wall and it has some curtains behind it and stuff like that, but I just really like the way I placed it and didn't want to move things around in there. So it's more like of decorative, purposes, but it's fine. I think a lot of houses have like decorative fireplaces and they don't actually work. I know in my college, like in my dorms, we have fireplaces, not like in the rooms, but like in other places we have fireplaces and they're like not for use. We're not allowed to use them. That might be because there's like that's a hazard with like having teens or like young adults using them. Maybe that would be a little bit of a fire hazard, who knows, but I also just think that they're old and they're not supposed to be used. So maybe this is like a decorative one, or maybe they just never light it. Who knows? If you want to figure that out, like if you want to use it in your own gameplay, feel free to figure it out. I could not figure it out, but if you do, let me know, and I'm so happy for you, because I could not, and to be fair, I also did not have the energy to figure that one out too much. I was like, okay, I did everything I could think of, it's okay now. But yeah, also in here, I put a bookshelf, and yeah, that's basically, like, the living rooms are being really simple. Again, it has like windows over like the entirety of the walls, so it's it's very bright in there, but that's why the curtains that I use, they have like some sheer curtains that are from the Parenthood game pack, and then the ones that look like you can like pull them down, if that makes sense, those curtains, blinds maybe would be the right word, those are from the My First Pet stuff, which again, really random, really weird, but I think it works out really well. I feel like, in a couple of videos ago, I was talking about how someone commented that, like, you should take a shot every time I say, if that makes sense, because I do say that a lot. I also feel like you should take a shot. Don't actually do this, because you would probably end up being dead from how much you would be drinking, but, like, you could also do the same thing for me saying that that's random, because I say that to, like, everything. So I'm sorry. What can I say? I like my words repeated, apparently. I don't know. But after that, I move on to the only bedroom that is on the downstairs level, which ends up being the kids' room. And in here, I was thinking that this kid is just a kid. They're kind of into everything. They're into sports and games, mostly, I was thinking. But, they're a kid. They're trying to figure their stuff out. They don't really know what they like yet and stuff like that. So you know, they're just figuring everything out. But yeah, in here I used a bed from Base Game that okay, you can tell me if I'm wrong, but I'm like 90% sure that when this bed came out, it was actually with the Parenthood game pack. And then when we got double beds, they made ones that were base game. So they like remade this bed into being base game. Like they removed it from the Parenthood catalog and just placed it in base game. So when I was like looking at like what things were from this build, I was like, wait, isn't that from Parenthood? But no, it's base game now. And I completely forgot about this. This was like years and years and years ago, but I remember when this was happening because people were like pissed that they were doing that. People don't care right now because it's been so long, but if I remember correctly, that was the bed that happened with. But yeah, so that's a fun fact if you haven't been in the Sims community for too long. Fun fact, that bed used to be from Parenthood. But this room ends up being really small, so I couldn't really fit a lot of things, but I fit a dresser. The dresser that I use is from the Business and Hobby expansion pack. I use a lot from that pack in this build, as you can tell. And then I use a desk from the Discovery University expansion pack, I believe. I think so. And yeah, I just cluttered up with a few different things. Again, some games and stuff like that. I put the kind of computer that looks like it's an iPad because I feel like that's more kid friendly. I tend to not put computers in my kids' rooms. Which I realized that nowadays it's probably pretty normal to have a computer in your room, at least like a laptop when you're a kid. And when I think back to it, like I did, like as a child, I had that. To be fair, I come from like a tech and gaming family, so it makes sense that I had it. But most of my friends did not have a computer in their room growing up. But that was also like 15 years ago that, you know, I was a kid. So it's been a while. And the times have changed. So I think like nowadays most kids have their own computers, but like my friends used to have like family computers and stuff like that. We never did in my family just because, again, I come from like a tech and gaming family, so like I always had my own computer. I think I got it when I was like 6 or something like that, if I'm remembering correctly. But yeah, so I always feel weird putting computers in kids' rooms, but this little like iPad one I think works out pretty well. But I would probably never put like a PC in a kid's room just because it doesn't make sense for me. And then we move on to the upstairs, and this is where the office area is. Obviously there isn't like a dedicated office room in this build, but I wanted there to be like an office space for the parents. So the upstairs hallway ends up having that. And the desk that I use is from the Hosey Gamer Kit, I believe, and the chair is also from that pack, I believe, and then the like computer that I use is from City Living, and I almost never use this computer because in my head it's like a Mac one. It's like, you know, an Apple computer, and I don't know why, I've just never really liked Apple. Again, I grew up in a gaming and computer family, and we've never had any Apple things. I had an iPad once in my life when I was a kid, and that was the only Apple product we had ever had in our house, and this computer just looks like an Apple one. And so if I use it, I always use it in like more modern builds because it also looks a little bit more modern. It looks a little bit more modern, there we go. But yeah, I almost never use it just because it looks like an iMac. Is that what it's called? I think so. See, I don't even know. I like genuinely have no clue. My boyfriend has a like an iPhone, right? And when I'm at his, sometimes, you know, I need to look something up or something, and he just gives me his phone, and I'm just like, I don't know how to use this. I genuinely don't understand. I can't even log into it. Like I don't understand it. I don't understand Apple things. Again, I don't, just because I'm not used to it. I've had a Samsung phone for the majority of my life. I had like Sony's when I was growing up as well. But yeah, I've always had some Samsung, and I've always had like a PC and not a Mac computer, and we've always been like a Samsung family, I guess. So yeah, I don't know Apple things. That's a fun fact about me. I've never had any again, I had an iPad when I was like 11, but yeah, that was the only Apple thing we ever had in our family. So that's why I don't use that computer a lot, because I just don't like the, to be fair, I also don't like the way the iMac looks. and I don't know, I just don't like it, so I've never used it in my builds. But for this one, again, I felt like it fitted because it just looked a little bit more modern and sleek, so, you know. But anyways, after I do that little office area, I move on to the parents' bedroom, and in here, I use a bed from Dream Home Decorator, and I pair it with some side tables that I believe are from the Discover University expansion pack. I think so. And above the bed, I put this mirror that I love. I think it's from the Decor to the Max kit. You can prove me wrong if you want to. But I believe it's from that. And I love putting that above a bed. I don't know why. I just really do. And yeah, this bedroom is pretty simple. It ends up having a dresser that's from the Business and Hobbies expansion pack. It has a couple of more mirrors that are like full length mirrors. They also have the second bathroom that is only like a half bath, so it has like 1.5 baths, this house. It's, again, not that big, but I think it works out. It's only a family of 4. They also do have a dog, at least in my mind, and for my save file they're going to be having a dog. But yeah, I think 1.5 baths, it's fine. In my house, we are 6 people. Well, we're like more like 5 people living there now. 4 when I'm at college, but we have like 3 bathrooms, but only one of them has a shower, so there's that. And in my boyfriend's house, they are 6. When I'm there, they're 6 people, and they only have 1 bathroom at all. So it's, you know, I think having just 1.5 is fine. The parents have their own little half bath in this build, but yeah, I think it's fine. And yeah, their bedroom ends up being really, really simple. I put a little ottoman that is from the City Living expansion pack, I believe, and I cluttered that up with some magazines and everything. And I also really like the rug that I use in there. The rug that I use is from Base Game, I believe, and I used it in this kind of like green mossy color, and it works perfectly with the couches that I use downstairs, and I also use the armchair of that in their bedroom as well, so it kind of just matched everything and it tied everything together. So I really like that. And then I move over into the bathroom, and like I said, in here the tile, both the wall and floor tiles are from the Sleek bathroom kit. And then I was gonna say that everything else is from there, but it's not, because I decided to not use that, and I don't know why. But the shower is from Seasons. I kind of merged it into the wall though. And then the sink is from the Growing Together expansion pack, and the toilet is from Snowy Escape. So they're all over the place, but I really like it. And then after that, I go into the final bedroom and the final room of this house. So the last thing you'll see me do, and it is the teen's room. So in here, I was thinking that this teen is really into space, and I had a lot of fun with it, because normally when I do like space themed rooms, they're always kids' rooms. But I decided to do this for a teen for once, and I really like it. I kept on with the black theme, so that is still a thing here. But yeah, I really like it. I think it ends up looking really good. The bed that I use is from high school years, and I really loved using this bed because the headboard is so thick that you can kind of use it as a shelf, and I really like it. I think I can just clutter it up with everything, and if you know me, you know that I love my clutter. I posted some pictures of my dorm, like on Twitter, so if you want to see, you can go there and see them. And I was like, see, I don't only, like, my clutter isn't just my Sims builds, it's everywhere. And like someone commented that I can see you building this in The Sims, and I was like, yeah, see, like the way I build in The Sims is what I like in real life the majority of the time. Obviously, personally, I would never want like a modern house. I'm more like a cozy cottage girl thing. But yeah, did I just call myself a thing? I think I did. That's embarrassing. I'm not a thing. I'm a person, I think. I'm not thing from Wednesday. That I am not. Which, by the way, I was gonna say love the new season. I liked the first season more, but I'm excited for the 3rd season. But I don't like the way they split it into 2, like different, because everything that happened in the first half was just setting everything up, and then the second half was just solving everything. And I wish they could have had more like a cohesive theme within both of them. But anyways, that's just my critique of Wednesday. I still liked it. Like, I still loved it. Don't get me wrong. Still a 10 out of 10 show, but yeah, I just wish they hadn't split it up the way they did. Anyways, continuing about the build. So in front of the TV, or in front of the bed, there's being a little TV stand, and I cleared that thing up, and I cluttered the walls up with a bunch of different things. Some of them are like posters from space, or like of space. Some of them have to do with more like music or like TV shows and games, because obviously you don't just have one interest. Most people have several, so I was thinking that this teen is, their main interest is space, but they're also really into music and games and stuff like that. Because, you know, again, they're a teen, they're still figuring themselves out, so they're gonna have a bunch of different things in their room. At least that's what I was thinking. But yeah, and then I just cleared up with the desk. The desk that I use is from the Dream Home Decorator stuff pack, not stuff pack, game pack. I keep messing that thing up today, and I don't know why. But yeah, I colored that up with a bunch of different things. I used some, like, school projects that you can make from Parenthood that have, like, some space themes to it, and I used that in this room as well. Again, kind of just signalize that they like space, and you will see in the screenshots that I use some, like, the ceiling light in this build, or in this room, ends up being the, like, solar system one that I think is from base game, that you unlock within the space career, but I use that in here. I almost never use that ceiling light, but for this room I felt like it just fitted. And yeah, and then I just cluttered up again with some more things. It has a bookshelf in here, and yeah, that's basically it for this video, and I'm gonna wrap up the voiceover right here, mostly because I don't really have anything else to talk about, and I'm tired. My voice is dying. I have a really, I think I'm getting a cold because my throat has been hurting, so I'm just gonna wrap it up right here. But yeah, I really hope you guys like this video, and don't forget to like, share, comment, and of course subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye!